So I went on absolute locals extravaganza. I played 4 locals, 4 days in a row. Was fortunate enough to top 3 of them, and it was an amazing experience. Y'all wanted to see what I played. I'm about to bring it to you guys. I hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, it was one hell of a ride, and I can't wait to do it again. So anyways, let's get into the deck profile.
What's up, you guys?
So I really hope you guys don't click off because you see Dangers and Thunder Dragons. Oh no, Slim, you played meta. Why? I honestly believe this is the best deck, and I love Thunder Dragons, and even though it is meta, even though these cards are meta, I've always said, play what you guys enjoy, and I absolutely love this deck. You guys have seen me play so many variations of Thunder Dragons, and I honestly just cannot put the deck down. There is no other deck I want to play. I don't want to play Altergeist. I don't want to play Sky Strikers. I don't want to, play, I'm going to see when Solomon Great comes out if I want to try that deck. But for now, for me, and for everything that's been going on in this game, I honestly think Danger Thunder Dragon are the best deck, and I've had so much fun playing every iteration of the deck. I feel like I have learned so much from playing this deck because of how fast it's evolved and how fast I've had to adapt to playing new builds of it. This list, if you guys are wondering, is Aaron Furman's list that he played at YCS Chicago. I think that deck was absolutely insane. It's literally like 1 or 2 cards off from what Kamal and like some of the PPG guys played. There was literally 1 card difference in like a Danger lineup where they played a Chupacabra over a Mothman. And I'll be honest, you guys, this deck has been the nuts. You guys already know, like I said in the intro, I went on an absolute gauntlet of 4 days in a row of locals. I was able to top 3 out of the 4. It would have been 4 out of 4. Unfortunately, there was a draw in the there was an intentional draw, and I also drew I had a draw during the Swiss round, so I was unable to top, but it didn't matter. I was the only real Thunder Dragon player there. No one else was playing this build, and people saw how ridiculous it was, and I basically learned a lot from playing this deck, and I'm hoping that you guys will actually watch this deck profile and understand why this build is so good, what you need to do to counter it, and those of you that are playing it, trust me, you will learn something new every time you play it because the deck's insane. So I'm going to get into it. Hopefully you guys enjoy. And like I said, yes, I played meta. Yes, I don't, I always prepare, even if it's locals, I play it like, it's a YCS and whatnot. And one thing I enjoyed is I was able to really experiment with a lot of different side deck cards every single day. So I really enjoyed it, but we'll get into it. A lot of this stuff is pretty standard, so I won't really explain the obvious. Dangers, you play 3 of all the good ones. So 3 Nessie, 3 Snake, 3 Jackalope. These are all standard. These are all ones that'll replace stuff for you. This one will search you. This one will summon. This will, summon again. And I mean, they just, they work to create your Saryuja. They work to create all your guys, and they put a lot of pressure on the board. The fact that they're dark is amazing. Comes up with Diabolus' effect, especially when you're doing the Guard Dragon combo, if you bring one of these out before you're locked into Dragon. So it's really important. And of course, to round it out, I played the 2 Mothman. I actually really grew fond of this card. I sometimes even want to play 3. I look at all the other Dangers, and this is the one I like the most because it helps me mulligan. Yes, it lets my opponent draw and discard a card, but one thing this does that no other Danger does, it gives me information on what my opponent is playing. It lets me see a card out of their deck, and sometimes, yes, it might be a generic card, but a lot of times if it's not, I can, deduce what they're playing based off what they discard. So this card is really, really good. These Dangers are insane. Like I said, I don't know why Konami ever printed these cards. When Japan gets them, it's going to be an absolute bloodbath, but these Dangers are insane. They really do make the deck absolutely crazy. For the Thunder Dragon part, there's the 3 OG, the 3 Dragon Dark, 2 Hawk, 2 Roar, and what has slowly grown to become one of my favorite Thunder Dragons again, Thunder Dragon Duo. So not really much to explain. So one thing I'll tell you, you play this card because it does 2 things for you. Technically 3, I guess. So first thing it does is it makes it so the minute this resolves and you get another copy or 2 copies to your hand, you automatically have guaranteed yourself a Colossus if you have the rest of the cards to go with it, meaning just another Thunder monster. That's one thing it does. The second thing it does is, since we play Sekka's Light, this adds 2 copies of itself to your hand. Sekka's Light draws you 2 more cards, and what this really does is, even without Sekka's Light, it increases the number of cards in your hand so that your danger hits are more likely to go off, meaning that your opponent won't snipe the dangers out of your hands because mathematically you'll have more cards in hand and they'll have a harder time hitting it. And lastly, this card can bait cards. This card can bait, I mean, if they're bad, honestly, like if they ash this or if they stop this, like you automatically can start to get advantage off this. And it's an easy side out too when you side out Second Light. So I really, really like this card. And it also works amazing with Saryuja, putting dead copies back into the deck. Just putting to the bottom of the deck and then drawing fresh cards is always nice. So to be honest, the OG was one of the best cards in the deck. These are self-explanatory. You really just don't want to draw, like, Dark is good because you can Dark at the end of your opponent's turn if you're going second to make Hawk live, but you really just don't want to see any of these. You guys should know this by now. It's pretty standard. We don't play Matrix. Matrix is bad in this particular build. You guys know in the hand loop build it was really important, but now it's just not as important. So these are the Thunder Dragons you play. You just don't want to clump on Thunder Dragons because by themselves they're just not, like, super duper strong. This card has become one of my favorite cards for the reason that, you know, it's really good against Geist. It's really good on baiting stuff. It has the ability to search Denko Sekka. It has just so many applications. The fact that it's a level 8 Dark is insane. It's also huge under Saryuja coming out at 31 and then getting the 300 boost if you activate a Thunder Enhance. I really, really like this card. I think this card is insane. And definitely a staple in this build because in order to make Zombie Stein, you need 2 level 8 Darks, and a lot of times you're using Diabolos, Levianeer, ripping cards out of your opponent's hand, and then this kind of solidifies it along with a Colossus to make a Zombie Stein, so this is really, really strong. I highly suggest that if you're playing Thunder Dragons in any variant that you play the card. That's it for the Thunder monsters. And then for my normal summons, you guys have seen this list before, so there's not much to explain. We only have 6 normal summons, but there's 6 very important normal summons. In reality, it's only 2, but these cards come up a lot. Solar just gets everything rolling. Solar plus a White Dragon, Sending Roar is insane. Sky Blaster is insane. A Danger plus Sky Blaster, or a Monster Special Summon plus Sky Blaster, or Saryuja. Saryuja is the name of the game. Draw your, fix your hand, just get crazy combos off. I think these cards are nuts. As long as they're going to keep these cards around to play them. I think Sky Blaster is one of the best cards in the game right now. It just does so much for so many decks. The tokens are nuts and Saryuja is nuts. Probably some of the best cards in the deck as well are the little Chaos Dragons. There's no denying that these cards really revolutionized the deck. Just the fact that you can, you can summon Solar, dump a Roar, banish a Roar with the White Dragon, and then get 4 monsters on the board to get Saryuja. Then you can chain block when you make the Saryuja is nuts. These cards are also really important for the Guard Dragons. I do play the Guard Dragons in my extra deck, and these cards are nuts. Having a Saryuja plus one of these is the Guard Dragon combo, and they search each other out, so your hand keeps getting filled. And once you resolve these combos, like the opponents doesn't know what to do because you're putting up 1 to 2 negates, putting up a Colossus, putting up multiple Saryujas, and they're really just kind of stuck. So I think these cards are absolutely nuts. They do so much for the deck. Definitely a staple going forward. And then the Big Daddies, the Chaos Engine, the 2 Levianeer, and the 1 Diabolos. Cards are broken. This is still one of the best cards in the deck. I really want to play 3. Like, I really do. I go back and forth. I don't want to brick on it. I have bricked on it at 2, believe it or not. Like, it actually happened. In 40 cards, it happens because, I'm not playing, that many. I'm not playing many spells, so it can't happen. But these cards are nuts. This can just, blow out a game because it doesn't target. Hitting a card in hand is nuts. And this card is one of the best cards in the deck. Altergeist and Striker really struggle against this card. It can't be targeted, so this card is very, very good. Being able to, bring this out off of Guard Dragon LP is nuts, and being able to, rip a card from their hand, put it back to the top or bottom is crazy, and combine hitting 2 cards is nuts. We can't Gumblar for 6, but we can do our own version of hitting 2 cards in hand, so I really like it. And then the last monster is Eclipse Wyvern, another option for you to bring out off LP. You continue your combo, you can link this off into a Guard Dragon. If you don't have like a little Chaos Dragon, you can link this, and it's really nice. Like, I like this. Like, you can special this off Saryuja, link this off into LP. This will banish Levianeer. Then you can summon the Diabolos from the grave. Then if you have another Chaos monster, you can, banish this, get the Levianeer. You guys see where I'm going with this. Like, this card does a lot. This card is really, really good. It's never really a normal summon. You really try not to normal summon it. So it's just an option that you have at your disposal. And then the only spell card, but this card is broken, 3 Pot of Greed, 3 Second Light. I mean, they were really onto something when they played this card at Chicago. This card is absolutely nuts. Draw 2 cards, mulligan a card in your hand. I mean, half the time you're mulliganing. Like I said, if you open a Thunder Dragon in this, like, it's so ridiculous. Like, you really just mulligan a card, a dead card that you searched, and you just draw a fresh card off it. I mean, what can I say? Pot of Greed. So that is the exact deck from Chicago. Chicago, that a couple people played, 40 cards. Deck is the absolute nuts. I can't even, like, explain it. It's so crazy. On to the extra deck real quick. So as you've seen, we don't play fusion, we don't play any other spells. They're not necessary. So we only focus on playing 3 Colossus. And believe it or not, This is not the name of the deck. I know everyone's thinking like, what? Thunder Dragons aren't focusing on Colossus? Not really. Like, Colossus is the last thing I summon when I'm doing my whole combo. Usually I'm trying to get to these first because these just fix my hand. They do everything. They special summon. They give a boost. They make my monsters huge. I don't know. I don't know why this card is still around. This card is nuts. This card was nuts from day one and has continued to be nuts. It is one of the main reasons why FTKs exist. This isn't an FTK deck, but this card just does so much for the deck. And I mean, it's insane that the fact that it's a dragon, so you can make another one with guard dragons. I mean, what can I say? One Link Spider. This is just for the Sky Blaster tokens. And then the real all-stars. These are the all-stars right here. These cards are absolutely insane. I did not know what the Guard Dragon combo was, and luckily I learned it. Took some time, learned it. I was very confused. I thought, how in the world does this work when you got an arrow pointing up and arrow pointing down? And then I realized, oh, we have a Saryuja, we have this, we summon here. We bring this, and we still summon here. And then we just continue to do our link combos. These cards were utterly insane. No one knew what these cards did, and I mean, I know it's only locals, it's whatever. I know a lot of you are locals players, so I'm just letting you guys know how things go at certain locals, and these cards were insane. Most people never even hit these cards, they never ogred them, they never, they never did anything to them. LP brings out from deck or hand, Argapane brings out from the extra deck, and we played the boss card in the extra deck, so I mean, it's insane. These cards, I feel like, these cards really took the deck to another level, to a level I never even would have seen happening after I lost so many cards in the hand loot build, but I was wrong. These cards really just changed the entire dynamic of the deck, and they're another reason why decks like Crusadia Guard Dragons are so powerful. These cards do so much for that deck, so much for this deck. I think they're definitely going to be the way to play the deck going forward. I can't, say anything, any more positive stuff about them. They're nuts. Then just generic Link stuff. We still play Reproducus because we do make Summon Sork a lot. We have Phoenix and Unicorn. They're just the utility links. You just need them. They come up a lot. This is really good. I actually was able to out this is crazy. I was actually able to out the Kali Yuga board. He had a Dweller, a Kali Yuga, and the Bardiche Link, and I actually was able to, without activating any effects since I was under Kali Yuga, able to summon this and then hard make a Zombie Stein with two level 8 darks, run over the Kali Yuga, run over the Bardiche, and then he scooped because he committed all his resources and it was going to lose next turn. So yeah, the nightmares are insane. And then just the Summon Sork, I mean, still legal. Why would you not play it? Card does everything. And then Borreload. People play Triple Burst Dragon just because you do get stuck under dragons, but Borreload is a dragon, so it's not ideal to make this card. If you can make the second Saryuja, obviously you make that, but this card does come up sometimes in the combo when you don't, since we don't play Triple Burst, when you play this, you also play this because you need it for the mirror. You really need this card because Borreload is like Big Eye was in Dragon Ruler format. You just need the card, so the card is insane. And then what can I say? These cards are broken. These cards are literally negates, and they are freaking huge. These cards will always come out under Saryuja, as long as Saryuja resolves, and they both negate cards. This comes out at 35, this comes out at 4,800. If they don't do anything, you just kill them next turn with these cards alone. I really like Hot Red Dragon Abyss. This card is insane. I really think that, yeah, its price is ridiculous, but it's definitely worth the hype if you're going to play a competitive deck like this. This effect is so strong. I love Zombie Stein. This card was the hard out to Kali Yuga. This card was insane. However, my only, I guess, disgruntled with this card is it does cost you more than this card, meaning that, you do have to produce the level 8s, you do have to send a card from your hand to the graveyard, and you do have to put it to defense. Unfortunately, when it's in defense, it's very easy to run over. Under Saryuja, it only has 1,300 defense, but overall, these cards were nuts because I'm usually negating cards like Widow Anchor and cards like that would, try to break my board, even though my board is so strong. So these cards were definitely some of the MVP cards, and it really throws my opponent off when they're like, what did you do? Like, I summoned a monster from my extra deck because of Guard Dragons, and they don't know. And yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, that was my main and my extra. My tokens, of course, you guys always know I play Duel Links tokens. Now, I have more than 15 cards here because I played multiple different variations of side deck over these last 4 days, but the cards that stayed in the side deck the entire time were these. So I'm just going to put these ones out first. These were the cards that never left my side deck. see. Yeah, I think it was just these. So shout out to my brother Jerry. He told me to play Twin. I actually wasn't originally going to play Twin. I just had, I have a little box. In case people don't know, I'll even show you guys my box. I have a let's see if the camera can focus on it. Yeah, it has a South Park sticker on it. It's my Noble Knight. Shout out to Johnny. It's my Noble Knight box, and it's basically my box of every good thing in Yu-Gi-Oh. I got another deck over here for fun. I got monsters, spells, traps, extra deck monsters, all kinds of text and stuff for like side decks and stuff. So I always use that when I'm building a side deck, just to let you guys know how I do things. But these were the cards that pretty much stayed in my deck the entire time. Denko was obviously the best card. You guys know how much I love this card. This was for all the back row decks and stuff. This card was nuts. Sphere Mode is if I played anything like the Mirror, but I also used it against the Kali Yuga deck because he put up the whole board, and I used turn player priority and just raw Sphere Mode the whole thing, and the game was over. Twin was really good though. Jerry told me to play this. I was playing evenly matched for one day, and I honestly did not like it. I'll put the evenly matches down now, but I did not like it. And I know what you guys are thinking. Oh my god, Slim, you're crazy. You're bad for not liking evenly matched. The thing is, I don't want to give up my battle phase. I want to just beat my opponent, and I felt like there were cards that did it better. And I noticed after the first day of playing this card, like, yeah, it was good. I did it against True Draco, but honestly, True Draco was not too hard a matchup because Colossus is really good against that deck. But I noticed that cards like Twin, cards like Reboot would do the same thing, but better, and wouldn't cost me my battle phase. So I'm still going to test with this card. I think it's extremely good against, Alter Guys, against all those decks, but it's definitely a card that I go back and forth on. I might change up some ratios, maybe play like, different ratios, but definitely a card you should consider, but definitely was not an all-star for me. So this card is hit or miss for me. Maybe it's just me personally, but these other cards were good. I sided this to test it out in the Mirror, to test it out against, a lot of other decks. The hardest deck I played against was Lunalight. Shout out to my boy Mike. He's ridiculous with that deck. This card was good, though. This card was good against the Mirror. They just Gold Sarked, and I just Lanced, and it was good. It just didn't have as much applications as I wanted it to. Like, you guys know, I'm always trying to side deck cards that are good against multiple matches. This card was like whatever, because, it has no application against Strikers, no application against Alter Guides, mostly just for the Mirror, and I feel like I can side better cards. So this may be a card I might not side as much anymore, but time will tell. Do more testing. I was fortunate enough to only use these in the last locals, the 4th day locals, because I just was able to get access to them. I still need to get one more. I used it against Striker, and the card was broken. I know it's good against the Mirror, but like I said, no one played my deck, so it just wasn't there. And I sided it in against regular Thunder Dragon, but he braked, and I never got to resolve it. So this card is insane, though. I think it's the best card in the set, so definitely, if your deck can play it, play it. This card is definitely insane. MVP though for me was definitely 3 Mind Control. Again, this was more of a mirror match card, but then I realized there's a lot of applications I can do with this card. I played against Dino Thunder. I played against a lot of random decks. I played against zombies, which are honestly just like this deck's worst matchup because Zombie World turns all my Thunder effects off. I'm locked under Rivalry. Like, this card was MVP, though. I actually mind controlled the Negate guy, and he's a level 8 Dark, so I just made him. I used that and my other guy to make my own zombie monster, Zombie Stein, so it's pretty cool. This card is a little gimmicky, though. I probably won't side this going forward, but this was just like more of a locals and more of a I want to test this thing. You guys know how much I love this card. And then, of course, I had the 3 Reboot. These were, this was mostly, like, something for Altergeist. But then I realized it's, like, I have, like, 9 cards for that matchup, and I know the matchup is bad. I just don't think 9 is... I think 9 is just too much. I don't know. Like, you guys can let me know what you guys think in the comments below, but I feel like that's just oversighting, and I'm trying to avoid that. This is my biggest issue in the game, in case you guys don't know. I really struggle with side decking. I've been trying to get better and better, but... it just takes time, it takes practice, and that's the whole point of going on locals gauntlets like this, to really learn your deck, learn siding, learn a lot of things, and I feel it's really beneficial. But that was everything, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was really long. I just really wanted to give you guys the most in-depth profile I could, explain things that a lot of people don't explain, why the Guard Dragons are so good, explain why I feel this build is the best deck right now. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I know a lot of you are going to be like, Slim, why'd you play meta? I'm going to play the deck I enjoy, and I really enjoy this deck. You can ask any of my opponents, you can ask anyone that watched me play over the last 4 locals. They'll tell you right now I had a ball playing this deck, and I got better with it each time I played it. And I think that's what it takes to be successful, and I'm still, hungry for, those event tops and all that stuff. Locals is my starting ground. I got to start somewhere, and, it just helps me get better as a player, and, I know my time will come. It's just learning the deck as best I can, and, I'm humble about it because I know I always make mistakes. I know I can always improve, but I feel that by testing and testing with good people and testing against a plethora of decks, I really learn my deck inside and out, and I learn what's good to side and what's good not to side, and I really learn how to play each matchup. So overall, I love the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the profile. Again, sorry the video is so long. Hopefully you stayed through the whole thing. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Hit me up on social media or any of my platforms, and I will definitely help you guys with any questions you have about the deck. But I will continue to test it, continue to change side deck cards, and hopefully it'll bring me success in the upcoming events that I attend. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.